I don't know if I'm doing these out of obligation at this point. I'm doing this one out of obligation only because I haven't done one of these in quite some time. So here we are. We're doing one of these. And it feels good, surprisingly. You're only focusing on one person's audio. You can go whatever pace you want. Most importantly, there is no video, which means this upload will only be a couple of megabytes. Amazing. Anyway, God forbid someone finds this channel and actually listens to these solo recordings. Anyway, today's date, Sunday, June 23rd. It's 1:01 in the morning. I have no notes, and we're about to get started. Why do I keep talking like we're about to cut to a commercial break or some epic intro? Da 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 da. In the new, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, what's up? We're back. We're back with a solo. How long has it been since we've had a solo episode? I don't know. It's been some time. And I've said that a couple of times. Sometimes, one might say, I've said sometime. Regardless. Yeah, so I have no notes. So this could be either terrible or not terrible. I don't know what. I have no plans for this. I will let this go as long as it wants to go. Usually I'm like, let's hit an hour. I don't care. I don't care, dude. And I'm not pissed off. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. I revisited the MUETE, all capitals, no spaces. Pretty sure it said mute, but it's not mute. I don't even know. Their cover of You and Me by Disclosure, the Flume remix, brought back a lot of good memories. I apologize for any mouth noises that may be taking place in this episode. Because I guess we could do it like this. We could speak farther away, but have a higher gain, and you're still going to hear everything. Is that true? Or is it not really true? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. We're going to turn it back down because it didn't seem to help. You don't know what I'm talking about. And it's already been, give or take, 3 minutes, and we haven't talked about a single freaking thing. I want to say, we're actually going to check right now. I want to say it's been a couple of episodes since we've done any solo installations into this thing. And it's been so long that I'm not even plugged in to, what do you call it? My old YouTube channel, the Time Capsule channel. I'm in the new one right now. That's how long it's been that we got to look at the new one to find out what we're... Anyway, we go to videos. Let's go to videos. I guess we did one apparently we did one February 24th, 21st, 2024. That's interesting. And that was the only one we've done in the last 4 episodes. I want to say this one's coming out before Max is, MAC apostrophe S, Max. And so, yeah, it would have been Ethan and then Ray and then a single solo episode. And then we got Katie in there. And then we have Mac and then me. So, I'll probably upload Max first. I don't know. I mean, they're both really big uploads. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Regardless, it's been a while since we've done a proper solo episode. One that I'm actually awake for, I feel like, and one that is worth talking about. It's interesting as the more interesting things that have gone on in my life have happened, and the more things that are worth talking about, the less I've uploaded on here because I have less time because I'm doing interesting things. And yet, when my life was boring, and I wasn't doing anything worth talking about, I felt like I needed to upload once a week. So take that with a grain of salt, or whatever you want to take it with, a bottle of brandy or something, because none of those metaphors or figure of speeches made any sense. We're off to a great start. I had a showcase. I think I already talked. It's weird because I'll talk about things here, right? This channel is linked to the main channel, the Benjamin James channel, and I already talked about the showcase. So if you want to hear about that, go to the second half of the short film showcase video on the new channel, and I talk at length about what I thought about that. But, you know, no, you don't know because you didn't watch it. Go ahead and watch that. I'm not going to talk about that here because I feel like I've talked about Murphy's Law way too much already. What I do want to talk about, I want to talk about the videos that have not come out yet. So, a video that is on hold right now is the Ethan video. This is for the main channel, and it's because I'm working on a trial edit, part of an interview process for the channel Vsauce 2. So we'll see how that works out. The first time I turned in a file for them to look at, I'll just tell you what's up. The answer was no at that point. It's like, oh, you could do better. Try again. Right? Spoiler. When I turned that version into them, they wanted me to edit. All right, let me just explain this whole thing. So I am in a Discord server because I never leave the house and I've never touched grass before, and I'm 48 pounds overweight. No, I'm in a Discord server. This server is for the podcast, which is a subsidiary enterprise of the Vsauce 2 channel. It is hosted by Kevin Lieber and Matthew Tabor. And the Vsauce 2 channel is written by Matthew Tabor, hosted by Kevin Lieber. Regardless, they sent out an announcement into their Discord. I've been in there for about a year. They said, hey, we are looking for video editors. Please send Matthew your portfolio and reach out to him and say you would like to be involved in this process. And I did that. I sent them Murphy's Law, and I also sent them, I want to say, I think I sent them the Flatiron video. No, I sent them the documentary I made for Existing Absolute, which I still haven't worked on my own version of that for Breathe. So that's pretty interesting. You know, what are you going to do about it? My own content. And that's the one I procrastinate. Makes sense. I'm actually procrastinating a music video I'm working on for my brother's friend, Alex Guthrie, that we filmed on the pier because I have to do Foley for that thing. And doing Foley kind of sucks. Low key. It low key sucks, he says. Wow, how insightful, how infightful. And why does it suck? Well, it sucks because I have to make wooden board creaking sounds as if I'm walking on a pier. A pier, and I don't have any wood that creaks. So, yeah. Regardless, what was I talking about? I was talking about procrastinating a video and Vsauce 2. Yes, so Vsauce 2, they have, they're like, okay, where was I talking about? Yeah, the job. So they're like, all right, we liked your portfolio. Here's the editor. And the editor was like, all right, let me give you some things to work on. And then also interview you slightly in a video. We basically did a Zoom call, but it was Discord, right? He sends me 4 files. They are 2 video files and 2 audio files. They sync up, so it's really just 2 files. And it is the full A-roll of the take from the new Vsauce 2 video. This feral child was strapped to a toilet for 14 years. I believe that is the title, talking about Jeannie, the girl who was neglected for 14 years. And then they found her, and then they were like, oh man, regardless, this is the video content is not important. It's an educational video, right? So I cut that thing up. I sent it back. And they're like, this is a little slow. And which sucks because I cut it slow on purpose because I felt like I was going too quickly. It's an educational video, so you can't go too fast. I didn't think, but apparently you can. And the editor was getting into the weeds of like, hey, this is 12 frames of him breathing. We got to get rid of that. Make that 6 frames or less. I was like, okay, we're getting this deep in it. All right, I'm down with that. I like this. And there were some things that were weird, like, oh, I don't like to hear Kevin breathing. And at first I was like, okay, that's a little odd. But then I figured out sometimes he breathes for 4 frames. If you cut out the whole breath, now you have 4 frames of silence. Now it sounds kind of weird. You cut that down to like 2 frames or even 0 frames, none frames. And you do that like 60 times because he breathes a lot, because he's a human. Oh my gosh, he's literally a human. Then you can cut out like a minute and a half of your stuff. It's pretty cool. So I did that. Well, no, I didn't do that. He was just telling me like, hey, I cut out breaths and you need to fix your timing a little bit, make it faster so that the spots in between sentences, like the topic changes and whatnot, they would make more sense. So you give them more space, building more contrast with the amount of time between when he's saying things. So I was like, all right. And I did that, and I turned that in like 2 days ago. Still have heard nothing back from them. And the first time was in a couple hours that I got feedback. So this is either really good thing or it's a really bad thing. And I don't know what it is. I can't imagine why they would be like, oh, we don't like you. Number one, because the editor said he liked talking to me. So, I mean, I feel like that's worth more than me actually being good at what I'm doing. Oh, also newsflash. They work on Premiere. I kind of hate Premiere, infamously. I've said that on this podcast. I retract that statement. Premiere is okay. They've updated it in the last 5 years. So I had to relearn Premiere, which was great because they've improved the software quite a bit. There wasn't much to relearn, honestly. It was just like, oh yeah, so the bin system is like this. And they've added better ripple edits, which is really fantastic. So yeah, Premiere is not that bad. I just got to figure out like the sound stuff, because the sound stuff is I feel like it's somewhat different on Premiere. Regardless. Yeah, so what I hope is happening is that they would like to bring me on board, and they're talking about that, and that's why it's taking them so long. However, what could be the case is they don't want to tell me that, oh, this sucked, and they're like procrastinating, telling me or hitting me up being like, oh yeah, so your thing sucks. Bye. Regardless, I'm still in that Discord with the podcast thing, so I'll still be around. It's not like I'm getting expelled from anything. But yeah, I thought this would be a lot more interesting, and it's really not. And it's honestly kind of starting to bore me. So I'm going to move on. So I'm working on that. And then I have a cut finished of the Alex video. I just need to like do sound work on it and stuff like that. I have an Ethan video that I need to work on. I have 3 hours of footage for this video. 3 hours. And it's a little bit, I want to say it's probably more like 2, because most videos are me. I've set up the camera, right? Because I had a tripod for this one, which was really cool. I set up the camera, I press record, and then I walk over to where I was going to be, and then I do the action, and then I turn off the camera. So around a third of each take, give or take, is unusable and not meant to be used. Ideally, I would turn it on and then do my action and then turn it off remotely, but I don't have that capability. So we're just going to cut it down and post. It'll be fine. Regardless, I have 3 hours of content for this thing. 3 hours, bro. And I'm going to call it something like, okay. I was originally going to call it, the Flagstaff Saga. Yes, the Flagstaff Saga. So cool. Or the Ethan Saga or something like that. And then I was like, I should like make this something because I have so much footage to play with. I could really do something with this. So I'm going to make a really long video. I'm going to do like, it's going to be like maybe an hour, honestly, of this video. It's going to be like a super video because I knew I was going to record a lot when I went over there, but I didn't expect for my life to go on like this character arc bullshit. So basically, I'm going to call it, I went to Flagstaff and got depressed. Something like that. Like some clickbaity, introspective film guy thing. Right? But I legitimately did get depressed up there. I drove up and it was this awful drive because my AC was kind of broken and I hadn't gotten it fixed yet. And when you drive up from like 2,500 altitude to 6,500 altitude, your car works really hard and the AC works even less. Luckily, it's Flagstaff, so it wasn't too hot at this point. This was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was the 1st and 2nd of June. So that was the timeline there. And so, yeah, the drive was a little awful. And then I shouldn't really spoil it here, but I mean, nobody fucking listens to this podcast, so it's fine. I get up there and Ethan's not there. And I knew he wasn't going to be there. He was working at this farmer's market thing. So I'm in his apartment and I record the ending of the Murphy's Law Showcase video. And then I take a little nap and I'm like, all right, I should go visit him at the farmer's market. And so I go to the farmer's market, but it's not the farmer's market, right? It's this hullabaloo thing. I have to pay like $25 to get in or something like that. It was a lot of money, whatever it was like, damn. All right, Ethan didn't tell me about this, but I guess I'll just go in. Wasn't even the farmer's market. So, I mean, Ethan didn't tell me something, so he's fine. He's in the clear. I go to this thing, and I'm like walking around with my big-ass camera, and it's like I actually almost got in for free, which was kind of interesting. Why? Oh my gosh, why is my audio like bugging out right now? What the heck? Okay, 1 second. I gotta fix this. What is going on? Wait, no, I don't want to fix it. Oh, yeah, I probably should fix it. Okay, the audio... I don't know, that was weird. Like, my audio waves were, like, lagging out, and I was hoping it wasn't affecting my audio. Regardless, that was, like, 5 seconds between these two takes. And you won't even notice, because I'm going to mix them together. So I was at this hullabaloo thing. I'm walking with my big-ass camera, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's nobody here that I know. I'm just like up in Flagstaff, like 100 miles away from where I live, right? And I'm like having like this very miniature anxiety attack, very miniature. When I say very miniature, I mean like I was like, this is kind of weird, like that type of miniature. But I was still kind of like, oh, what's going on? And I talked to this random dude. And he's like taking all of my time. In hindsight, I should have like been like, I don't really want to talk to you right now. I'm sorry, man. And he'd been like, oh no, it's fine. I was like, nah, dude, I don't know you. But I talked to him and I got it on camera too, which is weird. I don't even know if I'm going to include him in the thing. Because he ended up being very strange and pervert-y. I don't even really want to talk about the dude. He is kind of the amalgamation of the weirdness and the loneliness that was the Flagstaff first day. And so I deal with that. I'm walking around for like an hour looking for him. And it turns out Ethan went home because he couldn't find me. I was like, okay, well, that's great. Ethan had gone home. He'd gone home. And so I'm like, all right, I might as well just go home. So I go home to see where Ethan's at, and then he's just like, oh, I'm kind of tired, I just want to like sleep. I was like, okay, that's cool. And so he goes to bed and I go out to get in and out, and I recorded this in the car. I'm having like this full on like soapbox moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so lonely right now, I couldn't move out by myself, and I think I say in the video, I said I feel bad right now, but I think tomorrow I'll feel better. And that was the case. So the next day I did feel better. But I think I could do something with that. in the video. I don't know, man. Regardless, Flagstaff, I was sad, and then I was happy. So, yeah, I mean, that's worth something, right? Clearly that's worth something, because if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be worth something. I don't know. What am I talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, he's run out of things to yap about. Oh my gosh. And it's only been 20 minutes. And he's already run out of things to yap. I did a thing with Mac. I could talk about that. Let's talk about Mac. So Mac went on this crazy Florida excursion, right? He went on this insane excursion, and I wasn't there for it. So he was telling me about it for this entire podcast thing, right? But the podcast was 4 hours long. It was 4 hours long. And after an hour, we hadn't even talked about the thing that he came there to talk about. After an hour and a half, I think. Hour 40, something like that. Which is insane, mind you. It's so dumb. It should not have been that long. But, I mean, the time flew by. He was fun to talk to. The dude can talk, too. I mean, there were points where I was like, oh, I don't know what I should talk about. And there's a part that we cut out where it got really awkward because I brought up something that I probably shouldn't have brought up. And then that made him uncomfortable. But it was him who got us back on track. I'm going to take a drink of water. And when I do, I'm going to drink. So, and he actually got us back on track, which was really cool. Good for Mac. Oh my gosh, I had to respond to somebody. Also was me sending the video. Maybe let me put also in quotes. No one's gonna understand what this means. I'm not even gonna understand what this means. Sorry about that. We don't cut anything here in this podcast. Yeah. I got a camera. Oh my gosh. It's been that long. Wow. Okay. I haven't talked about my camera at all. Okay. Awesome. So I bought a camera. Yes. Holy shit. Has it been that long since I think I said, it's only been since February 21st of 2024. Not realizing that it is June at this point. Me thinking that was like 2 months ago. Oh, it was only 2 months ago, February. No, February was like 4 months ago now. Holy fuck. Holy. It is halfway through. We're halfway through 2024, ladies and gentlemen, already. And I'm also graduated, by the way. Awesome. No more school. Ain't that something? So, yeah. Yeah, baby. Very interesting. Lots to talk about. So I have an A7 IV. Whoa. I have a Sony A7 IV with a 24 to 70 millimeter G Master zoom lens. Full frame. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, the camera's been fantastic. It's a hybrid camera. Shoots really good video. Dual native ISOs of 800 and 3200. Not quite the 12,800 that is the A7S III or the FX3, but you know, you gotta make do with it. Yeah, and it turns out I thought I would need more than this. Is real nerd talk right here. I thought I would need more than 12,800. So, and I really only need a 3200. Yeah. Anyway, very awesome camera. I've been enjoying the photo aspect more than the video aspect. Isn't that interesting? Because I have found that the video portion of the iPhone experience, man, I just sounded so stupid. Of the the video aspect of the iPhone experience is actually really good. It's really, really good. It's the photo portion that's lacking. And that kind of tracks because on paper, the video for the iPhone is the best video of all the the smartphones. And the photos are the best on the Pixel, the Google Pixel. So it makes sense that the iPhone photo experience is not as good as the photography photo experience. However, I found you can take raw photos on the iPhone. I knew that already, but I found out that they actually work in Lightroom. So, yeah, very cool. Very cool stuff. But yeah, when I got the hybrid camera, my big thing was, I need to be marketable as a photographer, but I wasn't going to classify myself as such, right? However, yeah, so I was like, okay, I was going to get like an A7S III or an FX3. That is how video oriented I was, right? I wasn't even going to get a hybrid camera, but I got one because I was like, that'll be the smart idea, and it's cheaper, and right? I get the hybrid camera, and I'm taking mostly photos with it. Mostly photos. And I'm enjoying it more than taking video. Oh my gosh. Is it because it's new and I know what using video is like already? I don't know. I think on the iPhone, it's harder to take photos than it is to take video. And I think it's harder to take video on a camera than it is to take photos. And I think a lot of that has to do with the IBIS, the in-body stabilization, being so damn good on the iPhone. I'm not saying the i7, the A7S III IBIS is bad. However, when I watched a lot of my videos recently on the A7S III, wow, on the A7 IV, oh my gosh, jargon, spec, gear, camera. When I watch my footage on my camera, sometimes I'm going to throw up because it is just so unnecessarily shaky. I was like, dude, I don't think I take this shaky video because I watch my iPhone videos. I'm like, this looks great. It's because the iPhone has really good IBIS. And even though I have active stabilization, so the highest form where it even crops in a little bit on your camera, it doesn't matter. It's still slightly, bad. So I don't know if I need to get a cage for when I vlog. What the fuck? I don't know. Or I just need to pay attention more. I think, okay, here's the issue, right? I talk about this a little bit in the Flagstaff video, but I think it's still an ongoing issue. I don't think I've solved it really. So when you film with an iPhone, people are very open to interacting with your iPhone. You're talking to them and you're videoing them and they're like, hey, what's up? What's up, vlog, to the iPhone, right? You have a big ass camera. For some reason, it now there's a thing between you and them. I guess people are used to phones being in between you and them. Sometimes they have their phone and they're scrolling and they're talking to you, or they know what it's like to take video or picture with an iPhone. With a camera, there's this sort of, what's the word? Detachedness, where it's they don't know. It's oh, that's a big expensive camera. I don't know how to work that, and I don't know how that works, and so therefore it's this other being a proper noun, this other, right? And so not only when you hold it up to look at the screen, right, to have it at eye level, because it's hard to kind of have a gimbal thing set up if you're unless you have a full freaking setup for vlogging. I mean, if you do, congratulations, but that's not me. If you just holding the camera up, it's they're looking at the lens, they're not looking at you. I feel with the cell phone and the little selfie stick type thing, you can hold that up between you and they're still looking at you, and you can kind of see what's going on in the video and it's all right. But with the, I don't know, do I need to hold it up next to my head? In front of me? I don't know. Freaking the man, the myth, the legend, the OG Casey Neistat talks about holding a camera next to his head when he's doing these like interview portions of his videos. And maybe that's what I need to do because I'm always holding it in front of me. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. And I'm also using like a really kind of kind of a thick lens for what I'm doing. It's a 24-70, and so it's like kind of long. And I also have a lens hood on it, so it's even longer. And a lot of these guys using like what is it, 16 or 18-35 or something like that. So they're using a pretty small lens. It's not too very large. Regardless, yeah, it's weird. It's harder to get video that way, and yeah, like okay, so all that on top of me having to put more emphasis on what I'm doing in terms of like my arms being gimbals, like me physically stabilizing the image by putting more thought into holding the camera, which takes more focus away from me, and I'm already trying not to focus on it because it's so big. Anyway, it's kind of hard doing vlogs with the big camera. It's a whole nother thing. It's not like doing it on the iPhone, and I kind of wish I was still doing it on the iPhone, but you know, I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and I really didn't talk about anything, but love the new camera. It's fantastic. We'll never get rid of the thing. Even if I get another camera, I'm going to keep it unless I need money and I need to sell it for some reason. And I hope that will not ever happen. So, yeah, hopefully I have a job next time I upload this. I have a job. It's just not a camera job. Hopefully I have a camera job next time I upload to this thing. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's trying to get these film set jobs, being a DP and a gaffer and a director, right? But I'm just like, bro, give me that like $50,000 a year type salary because I'm making like 12 to 14 right now. It's not good. Ladies and gentlemen, the yearly salary is not good. So anyway, sign off? I think. Yeah, we'll sign off. Bye-bye.